remember there was like a question of the week on Facebook, and it was like, what's your proudest CrossFit achievement or something? And that day it was Zoom life, it was raining, there was running and hills, and I showed up and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm proud of, that a day like this and I can do it.
That's awesome.
You know, that's a lot more than anything else.
Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back to KCF Conversations. Today I'm joined by Kristin W.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
So excited to have you here. However, it is sort of, you know, we're coming up on the date that you're going to be leaving us, so we're not so excited about that. But your story here at Kitsap CrossFit's been super cool to watch. And so I just wanted to take the opportunity to share your story before you head off for bigger and better things on the East Coast. So
thank you.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, so I grew up in Littleton, Colorado, just outside of Denver. I did that until I was 18, and then I went to Boston for undergrad. I went to BU and did Navy ROTC.
Okay.
And then the last 8 years I've been in the Navy. By trade, I'm a nuclear trained surface warfare officer, and then I'm currently on a kind of a weird tour with Navy Wounded Warrior.
Okay. That's cool. I want to get back to that.
Yeah.
So how much time have you spent out at sea?
I haven't done any full deployments. I've kind of had a lot more shipyard time.
Oh, okay.
And so I've done a whole bunch of like 2 month to 2 week.
Mostly on aircraft carriers because you were.
So I did. My first tour was on a destroyer.
Okay.
To get the conventional part of surface
Got
warfare,
it.
Get the pen, and
learn how to drive the boat and do all that
exactly.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then power school and prototype for the nuclear training, and then a second tour on the aircraft carrier.
Okay. Which one?
The Lincoln. Stinking Lincoln.
The stinking Lincoln.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. I mean, it's definitely a really demanding job.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked before about what you saw as a PT on the aircraft carriers. It definitely works you to the bone.
I always felt bad for all the nukes. Like, you can just see it that's in their face. They just look so beat down. But except they always looked really excited when we got to port call because they got to go out and see the sun and outside,
get a little bit of sunshine. Super rewarding. I mean, when I look at kind of professionally, like some of the best people I've ever worked with and some of the greatest achievements, but definitely pay a price for it.
Yeah, you learn how to work really freaking hard, right?
Yeah. Work-life balance is not really a balance.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Wounded Warrior.
Yeah, so just to real quick, so there's the Wounded Warrior Project, which is a really well-known nonprofit.
Right.
And then this is Navy Wounded Warrior, which is a program within DoD, within the Navy.
Separate.
Yeah. And so we are a recovery care coordination program. So when people, sailors and Coast Guard, are seriously wounded, injured, or ill, they have a whole medical team. But what they found was that their non-medical needs, so whether it's transportation or housing, financial, family life, or if they start to get med boarded out, transition, what do I do next? How do I go into the real world with my disabilities?
Right.
All that stuff was falling apart. And so each branch of the DoD created these recovery care programs to pick up those non-medical needs.
Okay.
So originally the program was for folks with a lot of the combat injuries that you would think of for a wounded warrior. Now our population is a lot of PTSD, cancer, other illnesses, kind of a grab bag of anything that would make somebody not eligible to be in the military anymore. Got it.
Okay, so sounds like similar to the charitable organization that we used to work with, the Reveille Project. So sort of similar. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. And so you're getting ready to transition out of the Navy, and you're going back to Boston.
I am, yeah.
And what are you going to do there?
So I am going to be doing a dual master's program. So it's an MBA and an MS in Life Sciences Biotechnology at Harvard.
At Harvard?
At Harvard.
All right.
And
do you have your sweaters and everything
ready? I did. A friend bought me a fleece and a hat, so I've got some gear. And so that'll be a 2-year program, and then hopefully take that into working for some sort of foundation, doing some great stuff like getting medical treatments to low-income countries.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Wow. Have you started researching affiliates and all of that in the area?
I have, actually. Yeah. I'll be totally honest. When I was picking my house, I even was like, well, there's a really good option pretty close to HBS.
Good.
So we can
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, so when did you join Kitsap CrossFit? How long have you been with us?
July of 19, so almost
July
2 years now.
Okay. All right. So you had been with us. You had established yourself a little bit before things went crazy.
A little bit,
with COVID,
yeah.
So.
I think if I had been super brand new, I don't know if I would have hung around for the COVID stuff. So I had enough time to feel comfortable with the gym and the coaches and everything.
That's good, because we definitely had some folks that literally joined like late February, early March, and then everything went crazy. And I get it, like they
didn't know what was there.
Yeah, exactly. So so you had a base. We rolled into the whole COVID era, shutdown era.
Yeah.
And what I recall from the sessions that I coached on there was that you were always present. Like, you were always there. You really took advantage of all the things that we tried to offer via Zoom and all of that. That was super cool.
Yeah, it was huge for me, to be honest. I was out here. I'm in a tour where normally the Navy gives you friends.
Yeah.
I work alone, and so I don't have that built-in Navy wardroom or group of friends. I'm in a new place and the world just shut down.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of days where like the 4 p.m. Zoom was the first time I got out of my pajamas. I was working telework because it's all non-medical care.
Right.
And so I was very, very grateful for all the Zoom sessions and everything. They kept me going.
That's awesome. One of my best memories from your Zoom sessions was when you had the mismatched sized weights.
Oh, yeah.
So you had the same amount of weight on each side, but you had like a bucket under one of your weights. That was awesome.
Yeah, because it was like change plates on one side and then bumper on the other, and then a paint bucket to make it kind of like at least look normal.
That was awesome. There was so much creativity going on, and that's one I definitely remember. So
yeah, and I think kind of silver linings of that whole time taught you how to look as somebody that even was really new, taught you to look at a workout and be like, well, what's the intention? What's the stimulus? How can I, without exactly what it has, how can I still get there?
Right.
Which is a fantastic skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Super cool. So you were brand new to CrossFit when you came to us in July of 2019. What did you do prior to that, fitness-wise?
Kind of whatever. So I had done, high school sports, but then...
What sports in high school?
I did cross country and swimming,
okay.
But with kind of the endurance-y side of swimming, so definitely more of an endurance type background. And then throughout college and most of my time in the Navy, I would do the various Navy workouts as they pop up, but those are never super frequent. And then mostly just kind of searching for workouts on the internet, going to a gym, doing them. So I would do some good workout, but the biggest thing was the consistency, especially as we were talking about with the work could be so strenuous. It would be 3 great months of working out and then 2 months of nothing.
Right. 2 months of not seeing daylight.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was not really any consistent program over a long, long period.
Right. What brought you in here? Did you know someone or?
Google, yeah.
Google? Oh, nice.
Yeah, get great reviews. Also, I live a mile away, so
that helps.
Encouraging. But I'd reached a point, I was here and reached a point where, to be honest, I stepped on a scale and reached a number that I didn't like very much and knew it wasn't because I was, super buff at the time. And so did a few months on my own and was like, I just need some extra help. And this has been exactly right for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. How was it when you first started?
It's scary.
Yeah.
Definitely intimidating. Having done like some fitness stuff, but never this, the first probably 3 months I made like a note every time I walked in the door, like check that you go at the door, go in, just do whatever you can do, because it's really scary to go in and see people doing these things that look crazy at the time.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
But as much as I was scared, the coaches were awesome.
Good. You said something about consistency earlier, and I think, if I could attach any sort of adjective to you, it would definitely be consistency. Like you're here very, very consistently, and the results of that are quite obvious. I distinctly remember, it's probably been a couple months now, that we were doing, I think it was back squats.
I actually remember this too.
And I just remember I turned around and I was just like, holy shit, like, is that Kristin? Like, how much weight do you have on the bar there? Like, it just blew me away. how much your strength has grown over the past couple of years. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
When you first started, I mean, and of course, it's sort of unfair comparison because whenever anyone first starts, and then you look at where they're at 2 years later, of course they're going to be stronger. But I mean, it's a stark difference. Like when you first started, what were you able to squat?
Yeah, so I went down a little sugar WOD journey earlier today, actually. And so the first back squat that I logged was a 1 rep for 165.
165, which is pretty good.
Not bad.
At all. For someone coming into a new environment like this, and I'm guessing you didn't have a lot of back squatting experience. So, I think and generally, if someone can come in and back squat their body weight or a little bit more, that's pretty good. So that puts you well over your body weight, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. And then where are you at now?
So the last 1 rep for back squat we did a little while ago was 215.
215, nice.
Yeah.
And then I saw you doing some front squats the other day. That was what'd you work up to on the front squats?
So that worked up to, it ended up being a 168 for 1, but I did come back this week and get it for the 2.
Nice,
so.
Nice. I can edit that out, but
yeah,
I won't.
No, and then I ended up getting the 168 for 2.
Okay.
So that was good.
Nice. And then I wasn't here, but I heard about your deadlift last week or 2 weeks ago. You were doing sets of, was it like 5s at 250 or something?
It was 3
sets
for
of 3.
the sumo
Okay.
at 250.
Nice. How did that feel?
That felt good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd your deadlifts start?
They were, the first one of those that was logged was 165 for
165. 3. So your deadlift and back squat were pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
so it's been,
especially when you consider how much of that time that you've been here, like it's almost 2 years now, and a full year of that, I mean, we were closed for 4.5 months. So that means for 4.5 months, you were in your garage with mismatched size weights and limited. How much weight did you have at home?
112 pounds.
112 pounds, right? So you had less than your, your back squat, and less than your 1 rep max back squat when you first started. And despite that, have still been able to increase your lifts. How much have they gone up since we came back from, since we've been open and done all that?
I didn't quite look at those. They're slowed down a little bit. As I think the confidence has finally met the abilities.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe like 30 pounds of that is since we've gotten back.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. What other things have you noticed? What other results have you seen from outside of just being able to lift heavy ass weights now?
I would say like a lot of the upper body stuff for me has been huge. I remember in foundations, Mike was like telling me, like getting their first pull up is a really common goal for a lot of people. In my head, I was like, oh, I will literally never get a pull up in my entire life. Like that's just not me. That's just not possible. And now I can certainly do pull-ups and trying to get that muscle up.
Yeah.
And
Mike says you can't leave until you get the muscle up. So you better let Harvard know that.
I've got to do things here first. And like the handstand push-ups, and there's just been so many things that I just thought were impossible, and they're not.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I think many of us have the same sort of journey. Like you walk in, and you're like, okay, well, I'm never doing that stuff, but what can I do? And then the next thing you know, lo and behold, you're doing that stuff. So, well, okay, so we know that the bar muscle up or the muscle up in general is on your bucket list. What else? What are your other things you're looking to accomplish?
Short term, long term.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Okay. I want to work a lot more on the Olympic lifts. I think since those are so technique driven.
Yeah.
That as we're talking about, almost half my time has been crazy COVID. The strength has been able to go, but the technique is still catching up. Mm-hmm. So I want to get those to kind of match my powerlifting abilities, and then just keep doing more weight and keep going faster.
Nice.
There's not much specific right
now. If you could give a piece of advice to someone who is just getting started, or maybe even someone who's like considering getting started but hasn't taken that step yet, what advice would you give to someone who's...
I think it would be almost what we already covered, which is just show up and show up consistently. I didn't do anything crazy. I do recreational stuff on the weekends and this 4 or 5 times a week, but I just keep doing it. And by the time I think to try something new, I can already do it. I don't even realize it, because I just am doing the easier scaled options, and then it just happens. Like,
Yeah.
literally just showing up.
That's cool. That's super cool. So you're going back to Boston. What, besides being a Harvard student, like what are you looking forward to the most about being back in Boston?
Man, I actually have a lot of community in Boston, between doing my undergrad there
Yeah.
and some other friends that are just all working their way there. And so I'm really excited to, like, as the world opens up again and getting back to where I have a bigger community, I'm just excited for, like, happy hour and hanging out with people and getting to explore New England a little more. And
That's cool. I been to Boston a few times. I love the North End, of course. Like, so much good food there, and it's a cool city. I love.
It is.
I think it's one of the best walking cities I've ever been in my life. Like, you can anything that you want to see in Boston, you can pretty much walk there, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a major city in some ways, but in some ways it's actually like a really small town.
I don't like driving there though.
No,
I don't like.
No, I'm not looking forward to that part. But I've got half a mile to school and half a mile to the gym, so hopefully I won't be driving.
Perfect.
Except for weekend trips.
Perfect.
Because nobody wants that.
Well, like I said, it's been awesome having you here for the couple of years. We're bummed to see you leave, but excited for your journey. Like, it's super cool what you're about to embark upon, and we're thrilled that we could have been a part of your journey. And like I said, to just watch you grow in your abilities over the last 2 years. And then again, I think the other thing that's always going to be special about my memory of you is just seeing you on Zoom. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm so glad the Zoom days are gone.
Me too.
But
Me too.
you know, seeing you show up so consistently and continue to work hard on Zoom, and seeing how that translated to what you're doing here in the gym now, it's all the reason you're having the success now is because of that consistency that you kept up during the hardest times of this. And if you can stay consistent during that, like, you can stay consistent during anything, right?
Yeah.
So.
I remember there was like a question of the week on Facebook, and it was like, what's your proudest CrossFit achievement or something? And that day it was Zoom life, it was raining, there was running and hills, and I showed up and I was like, this actually is it. Like, this is what I'm proud of, that a day like this and I can do it.
That's awesome.
You know, that's a lot more than anything else.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Of course, if you ever find yourself back here, know that the doors are open for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
All right.